Bidang seni merupakan satu platform yang boleh menyerlahkan kreativiti seseorang tanpa mengira batas usia. Hasil yang tercipta daripada pemerhatian sekeliling sehingga tercetusnya idea, suara hati dan perasaan yang kemudiannya diterjemahkan dalam pelbagai bentuk untuk dipertuntunkan. Tidak terhad kepada seni lukisan, mereka juga boleh menyerlahkan potensi diri menerusi seni audiovisual, fotografi, muzik, teater tarian dan lakonan, malah banyak lagi. Menurut tokoh pelopor pendidikan Indonesia Ki Hajar Dewantara, hasil keindahan seni dapat mempengaruhi perasaan seseorang yang melihatnya sehingga menimbulkan perasaan luar biasa. Kelainan dan keunikan seni ini saban tahun berkembang melalui inovasi pengkarya yang diinspirasikan daripada budaya sekeliling dan masuk yang tempatan maupun dari luar negara.
Urban Skate is actually a KL festival that's into its 17th year this year. It's basically been a festival that we've been doing for many years to celebrate all the diversity and the stories of KL. It spans all creative pillars, everything from music to the arts to theatre to film and so on. Yeah, so actually we have been running it for 17 years. So the festival, the first one is in 2002. So we've been doing this for 17 years now. The idea behind it is, I would say about 2 to 3 years prior to that, we started with a publication called Clue. The idea was that we wanted a magazine and a website to cover pretty much the same things what the festival is doing, which is what's going on in KL, the people that make things happen, the stories behind these interesting events and people and all that. And then we felt that it'd be kind of interesting for the readers to not only get to read about these things, but also get a chance to explore and actually see for themselves in person the works, the music, the theatre and all that. Not just read about it, but actually see them in person. So that's how the idea for the festival started. Over the last few years, we've evolved the festival into a multi-venue festival and also a multi-day festival. This year, it runs for nine days consecutively and spans 20 over different venues all over KL. And the big chunk of it is basically within what we call the historic core, Medan Pasar, Petaling Street, River of Life, and then of course this beautiful venue here, Go Down in Lebuh Ampang. So the idea has always been to bring not just the people, but also the physical aspects of the city into play when we do this festival. So we basically work all these unique spaces and then activate these spaces. And I guess that's what you call innovating by going beyond just doing it in one location. That's pretty much it. We basically work all these different unique spaces which has great stories to tell in itself, its history and all that. And then basically work with artists, musicians and all the other creators out there to create innovative experiences for the general public. The festival has always been a project that our team at Freeform puts together year in, year out. I mean, we know there's a lot of conversations regularly with artists and the creators out there to put the festival together year in, year out. And that's become a very innovative ideas in terms of how to tell KL stories through these conversations and projects. I think this year and the year before this, we've actually expanded that conversation to go beyond that, to work with partners like Singapore Tourism Board, to look at actually offering an even more innovative experience that goes beyond just a conversation between the creators and the people at Freeform, but also the creators and the people at Freeform and also other partners. And from there, this opportunity to work with Singapore Tourism Board allowed us to actually work with artists and creators from across the causeway, from Singapore and Malaysia, to collaborate and offer up a very unique and innovative experience. So this entire building that is over 3 stories high has different pockets of innovative experiences for people to enjoy, from art installations, the multimedia work, to music gigs, to theatre, to film screenings, that basically covers the whole creative spectrum of both Malaysians and Singaporeans. I think that's a quite unique and innovative thing that we managed to put together. I think that those are kind of innovations that we try to bring to the table. for the festival. And we also have other unique stuff that's happening also with other partners. We're actually building a roller skating ring in the middle of Sentoh Depot, which will actually be a music concert and festival. So these are kind of interesting stuff that we're doing. We have art installations all around Medan Pasar. There's multimedia, digital. When you go into a room, you clap, and then the visuals response to that. All kinds of interesting stuff that's happening. This year, working in Singapore Tourism Board and the Ministry of Community, Culture and Youth allowed us to actually bring in a holistic approach to the programming together in Singapore. So with everything from artists collaborating to musicians, to film, to theatre, even the food and drink. So this is a very, very holistic and approach to the partnership overall.
Urban Seni is the inaugural triennial Malaysia-Singapore Cultural Showcase that is presented by the Ministry of Culture, Community and Youth Singapore and Malaysia's Ministry of Tourism, Arts and Culture. So this program and this collaboration hopes to encourage and celebrate the arts and creative communities that exist between both countries, and the Singapore Tourism Board worked together with two ministries on the Singapore lineup of performing acts as well as Singapore's programs that happen throughout this 9 days. Urban Seni means urban art. We hope to inspire the youth of today to explore the arts and culture that both countries have to offer, because we know that there's a very vibrant ecosystem happening in both cities, that we hope that most youth that visit Urban Seni over the 9 days will get to see and explore for themselves. So this was a conversation between the two Prime Ministers of both countries that happened earlier this year, and was a result of encouraging both countries to come together to support each other's arts and culture, given that we already have such a deeply rooted history and heritage between Malaysia and Singapore. So we want to celebrate some of these stories because we want to bring out the passion, bring out the possibilities that these artists have decided to pursue as part of their careers, and encourage a more vibrant, creative, innovative, as well as relevant ecosystem for arts. Support for the arts and culture is always very important, and we want to encourage youth of today to explore, to be able to be more involved, whether as a participant in the arts and culture or whether as a public festival goer, so that you appreciate the sort of creative minds that go behind the thought process. Because with every modern society, supporting the arts and culture is always a very integral part of making sure that we develop and elevate arts, culture and heritage to a whole new level.
Pertunjukan yang dianjurkan kumpulan ini menarik pengunjung daripada pelbagai usia dan lapisan masyarakat, terutamanya keluarga muda yang menetap di Kuala Lumpur. Pengunjung pula tidak dikenakan bayaran.
I think at the end of the day, the festival is always a KL festival. It's always KL, like it's his origins and then what the city is about. So it's truly multi-faceted, multiracial, and people have been coming KL for many, many, many years from all around. As a festival, to reflect that, the only right that we try to work with as many people as possible to bring the world together in our city that we call home. We've grown to sort of inspire us and to drive us year in, year out, and we've been seeing this a lot more. More and more people are starting to see KL through a different lens. Physically, the downtown area of KL, they're seeing it in a different lens. They're seeing so much more potential. They see what this city can be. They're seeing that in the people that we actually put together. Year in, year out, we have hundreds of people that participate in the festival, and that's 100 over different people showcasing what potential there is as we as people in the city, and also as physically as the city itself. So I think that's one of the most interesting things that I've garnered a lot of in the last few years. People just getting excited about their own city again, especially the downtown core of KL. We have young families, we have people, because it's 80% to 90% of the content is actually free. So that's what we're trying to get people. Just get out of your homes for a change. Don't go to the mall for the one weekend. Come check out, your city, a different part of the city. Experience things that you don't normally maybe think KL has to offer. Give it a shot, and I think you'll be pleasantly surprised. This is what we tell people. And out of that, I think we get a very good cross sections of people from their teen, 15, 16 years old, all the way up to like the 50-year-olds and families and all that. So it's a very diverse group. We're not just restricted to people who are from Malaysia. We also have a lot of tourists. We also have a lot of people from different communities. I think it's a great way to bring people together, to also be inspired and also to sort of see the city together, experience it together. Yeah. So we're trying to bring all these different communities. So in a way of that happening also is like working with Singapore, working with Singapore Tourism Board, working with them to do this, and then they're allowed to connect Malaysians and Singaporeans. Working with the theatre groups and putting theatre groups together with site-specific installation artists. We had a great bamboo sculpture. It's built entirely of bamboo by an Indonesian bamboo artist installation. But then we have dance performances, the music performances, everything within bamboo sculpture. So that's interaction that happens as a result of Indonesia. So connecting all these different people, but connecting them all within the city itself. Yeah, and I think that's really what we mean by reconnecting KL. Yeah. Avant-garde, that's a big word. I don't know whether I would classify all the stuff that we do as pigeonholed under that narrow definition of what avant-garde is. But I do know that a lot of the work that we try to showcase, a lot of the artists we try to showcase, a lot of their stories and their work resonates. And it's a very contemporary message for a lot of work that comes out. Just for example, some of the works that we have in this building questions rural lifestyle versus urban lifestyle, and how does that connect or don't connect? Is there a disconnect there? And where are the connection points? Where are the disconnect points? And all these different things are happening that people can relate to that stuff. For example, we have this awesome venue called Rex KL, which used to be a cinema that has been no longer a cinema for a long time, but now we're using it as a cinema again to showcase some of the best short films, some of the best feature films that Malaysia and Southeast Asia have to offer, together BMW shorties. And in conjunction with that, a lot of films actually resonate. We've been getting lots and lots of people coming through the doors, even on a Monday night, even on a Tuesday night. A lot of the art and a lot of the stuff, the content we have actually speaks to these people. I don't know whether they are avant-garde, but I think what I can say comfortably is that they do speak to people, and the people are attracted to some of these messages. Yeah. "27 full-time members of Freeform. I cannot ask for more. I mean, this is a team of passionate, driven, and focused individuals that I've worked with for many years. Some of them have been with me for more than, I could say, 12, 13 years. And we've always been driven by this innate desire to tell great stories about the work we do, the projects we work on, and the people that we work with. So that's a core team, and out of that, we have a lot of project people that come in, especially when we ramp up during the festival. These individuals we bring together to work on the festival together, and they are more specific. So they would basically be our curators, they work with us in terms of the marketing plans, they work with a lot of different functional aspects of the festival. So these individuals we work with. So collectively, I would say during festival time, we have close to almost 50 people working on this project together. And out of that, we do almost everything. This year we expect close to 50,000 people to show up at. So it's a major undertaking. We have a great bunch of people that sort of keep us all sane, who are able to sort of deal with the pressures that come with it and the high expectations that people have come to expect from Urbanscapes. I think pretty much the entire team are KL lines. We are very familiar with our city. We are very familiar with the people and diversity that our city offers. It's a very natural project for us to work on. Going outside of that, I'm not to say no, but I think at this juncture, we're very comfortable just working in KL for now.
Teknologi dan media sosial menjadi salah satu medium penyebaran karya seni urbanscape ke seluruh dunia. Penggiat seni semakin mengaplikasikan teknologi dalam karya mereka.
I see technology and I see social media and all that. Of course, from two sides of the coin. Now, of course, on one hand, I would love them to be more engaged. I love them to be more present when they're at our events and so on. But at the same time, social media and technology enables us to showcase all the great things we're doing to the rest of the world beyond the geographical boundaries of KL. Technology, more and more people get to discover the festival, more and more people know about the festival through social media and so on and so forth. And that actually helps us bring in a lot of audiences to the festival too. But yeah, of course, on the flip side, it'd be great that when they're here, they're not just videoing and Instagramming and all that 90% of the time, that they're a little bit more present and enjoying the content. It works both ways, and I'm grateful that technology enables and helps us to actually share what we're trying to do to a much larger audience. I think from the content side of things, I think we're starting to see more and more use of technology in the actual content itself. We work on a project that we call a platform called Immersial that we started 3 years ago, where it's about digital art, where it's about digital and multimedia art and installation that revolves around technology and using technology to help us interact with the art itself. So this year we had 3 interesting shop houses that historic shop houses that we managed to work with DBKL on. They graciously supported us by actually offering us these 3 shop houses to be used as installation spaces that we've actually used by filling it up with digital projections. We've done it with basically sensors and so on. Basically, people go into these rooms, are immersed completely with the artwork and installations that's in there. And basically, the artwork itself moves and reacts according to the movement of the art person who's actually the art goer itself. So these are kind of interesting stuff that we're starting to see more and more of. We have a lot of these other installations that work that we're also doing that has that kind of element. But also at the same time, we're also looking at the production of a lot of these content, right? For example, film. We have a lot of films nowadays that are being shot entirely via their phone cameras. And that's kind of interesting in terms of how the work is produced. So it's not just always a very technology or very futuristic looking art installation, it's also the kind of work and how we go about producing it. And I think it's technology itself, I wouldn't put it as a standalone silo, it's actually pretty much permeates almost every aspect of what we do as a festival.
The youth of today, and I think with millennials, the culture is very dependent on gadgets, right? So taking some time away, step aside to sort of reflect and appreciate the different art forms, the different artists that have come together to create the collaborations that you see today at Urban Seni has been very meaningful in trying to not just encourage Instagram-worthy shots, but to also understand that between Malaysia and Singapore, the artists that have come together to spend time to talk about these collaborations, they had to spend time to think about the 2 cities, the 2 countries, what inspires them from both Malaysia and Singapore, which resulted in the fruition of the collaborative works that you see today. I think Urbanscapes fulfills a very important role in KL, in reconnecting KL in that sense, because literally because of Urbanscapes, you've got festival goers coming into the city, maybe going to lesser lesser known places around this neighborhood and enjoying arts and culture in a way that's never been seen before. So I think the collaboration between MCCY, MOTEC and STB and working with Urbanscapes was to showcase and delight Malaysians that hey, you can not just discover KL, but you can also discover some of the interesting works from Singaporeans and then perhaps decide to come to Singapore to find out a little bit more about the arts and creative community as well. The piece that I like the most it sits on the rooftop. It's about bauxite and it is really integrated into the architecture of this building, which also has a heritage. So if you take a look at the rooftop, the bauxite sits and integrates itself very nicely into the environment. Urban Seni doesn't just stop with the art installations here. You're right to say that it also goes beyond film, performance theatre, as well as music showcase. The Makers Market is a curated platform for Malaysian and Singapore designers to showcase their products. 10 different brands from Malaysia, 10 different brands from Singapore that has been curated to come up. Range from everything from fashion accessories to little knickknacks that you can bring back. Urban Seni and Urbanscapes 2019, I would highly encourage more festival goers to explore the arts and creative communities that extend beyond this festival. In Malaysia and Singapore alike, Singapore has a very exciting lineup of activities in 2020, starting with the Singapore Biennale that runs all the way to March 2020. And we hope that you will also go and check out the Singapore Arts Week and other activities that are lined up around the festival alone.
Like a lot of all the other great cities around the region, KL is experiencing a great boom in a lot of interesting things within the city centre itself. I think it's time that all of us come check it out and support all the great creative work and stories that's being shared and coming out of the city. So I hope you guys will come down to KL soon.
Sekiranya anda mempunyai sebarang idea untuk program kami, hantarkan email kepada